Hi everyone, it's Tuesday 29th of July, and this week, as a preview, I'm really just going to look forward to the UK Championships at Birmingham at the weekend, which is 2nd and 3rd of August. An aside, if you like, the many nations are having their championships this weekend, including the USA, which got some absolutely cracking races, as you would expect, because they're trials for the World Championships as well. And they are running between Thursday and Sunday, and it seems to be on USA TF, that's track field TV, and there's a subscription now. You have to monthly subscription, so I guess you can get that in the UK. Whether or not they put the races up very quickly on YouTube, which they often do, I don't know, but hopefully they will. But look out for that, because that's going on while the UK Champs is going on at Birmingham. And I think at Birmingham it should be so much better. I went to the England Champs last weekend, very well organised, deserves a little bit more support, particularly from middle and longer distance runners, to get some good events next year. I know England Athletics are looking at that, because it's a well-run meeting and good occasion. It's a championship at the end of the day. Timing only a week before the British Champs, not so great, but maybe that'll be different next year. Anyway, as far as the UK Champs is concerned, this coming weekend, it seems to be quite a lot of it on the BBC Red button. That's Sky Channel 970, but on Saturday it only goes up to 2:50 p.m. So that negates watching a few of the distance races on Saturday in terms of heats and one or two of the finals. But I imagine it'll be this continue on the iPlayer and BBC Sport website. So just going through, we've got, well, men's, women's, 8:15, 5,000 steeplechase I'm going to look at. Men's 800 is 2 o'clock Saturday, women's just after 2:25, 1500s men's at 5:22 Saturday, heats at 5:50, and then on Saturday we've got the women's 5,000 following the women's steeplechase. The steeplechase at 6:20, the women's is at 6:36, and then on the Sunday you've got the men's steeplechase at 2:34 and the 5,000 at 2:47. So yeah, that's what's going on. You've got the finals of the eights, second half of the day on Sunday as well. So that's all good. You've then got what's going on in the background is selection for the World Championships, and basically there's a series of stages on that, and there's qualifying times. If you finish in the top two in the trials at the weekend and you have the World Athletics qualifying time, you will be selected in the first stage. If you finish in the top two of the trials and then you subsequently get the qualifying time before the 24th of August, you then get selected. And then there are, outside of that, opportunities for those that have a UK standard, which is slightly slower in each case, and within the quota for the World Championship. So, you know, for example, there'll be 56 athletes in the world who either got the standard or ranked, will go 800 and 1500, 5,000s are 42, steeplechases are 36. That's what you're looking at. But I hope I've explained that right. There's a number of stages there to hit, but the selection policy is on UK athletics website under I think it's performance policies. So yeah, quite detailed, and there's even one or two other aspects, like Josh Kerr as the world champion at 1500 gets an automatic buy and gives us one extra place in the 1500, so Josh can race and 3 others. Plus this year, which is unknown, the Diamond League winners, because all the Diamond Leagues are going to be finished before the World Champs. So there's quite a lot to take on board there, but really in terms of the weekend, we're probably looking at who finishes in the top two, putting themselves in prime position for selection. So I'm going to start with the women's races. I'm going to go through all the women's races because you see that some athletes are still accepted on the list for more than one event. I had a little pause there because I wanted to see what happens with athletes that have accepted invitations for more than one event, and there are a few. And in fact, I've probably gone a bit early with this preview because it's midnight tonight, Tuesday, by which time they've got to have declared which event they're doing, because doubling is pretty much impossible. So, for example, we'll start with the women's 800, where likes of Gemma Reekie and Katie Snowden, Erin Wallace, they've all accepted the 8 and the 15 places, but by tonight they will have had to have decided which one. So anyway, women's 800, interesting one. You got to look at Georgia Hunter-Bell, another one who's accepted for both. I think the feeling is she'll go for the 800 as Keely Hodgkinson's not running it, and if Keely's not going to do the World Champs, she might even have a better chance of winning the 8 than the 15 at the World Champs. As far as who's got the qualifying time for the World Champs, Hodgkinson, Hunter-Bell, Reekie, Phoebe Gill and Katie Snowden have all got the qualifying time, although Phoebe Gill's just announced she's curtailed her season and won't be racing again this year, so she's out of the equation. Keely Hodgkinson's a bit of an unknown, but I think I saw she's going to make her Diamond League debut this year, 20-something of August in Silesia, I think. So, yeah, that means she's probably, and she posted on Instagram, charging down the home straight in a training rep. So presumably she's going to be back in action and aiming for the World Champs, which will, if Georgia Hunter-Bell chooses the 800, would create quite a lot of interest. But Georgia Hunter-Bell could double us, I guess, at the World Champs. We've got Abby Ives as well in the equation, Gemma Reekie and Georgia Hunter-Bell all gone sub 2 this year, with the likes of Erin Wallace, Izzy Boffey just outside 2, Shakira King's just outside 2, but she's doing the European under-20s that are coming up. Sarah Calvert ran just outside 2 in Vienna in June. If I was to go top 3, I could be wrong because two of them could do the 1500. I'd probably go Georgia Hunter-Bell, Gemma Reekie, and then maybe Izzy Boffey with a strong finish, as she often comes up with. Moving swiftly on to the 1500, we've got likes of Melissa Courtney Bryant, who's not raced since May when she did a 5,000. Georgia Hunter-Bell, a possibility. Laura Muir, Gemma Reekie, Katie Snowden, Reve Walcott-Nolan, Erin Wallace. Bearing in mind what I've said, I think Reekie and Hunter-Bell will probably go for the 800. Laura Muir has run a 1500 in 4:08 at Stretford in July. So, although she's got superb credentials, do we go with her? Reve Walcott-Nolan's run 4:02. Erin Wallace has run 4:02. Katie Snowden's run 4:02 this year. I'm wondering whether Erin Wallace might take a win here. Be interesting. It's going to be ever so tight. But for the sake of being a little bit contentious, I might go Wallace, Snowden, Walcott-Nolan. But could be completely wrong. I'm discounting Melissa Courtney Bryant simply because she hasn't raced since May. So there must have been something going on there. And again, when it comes to the 5,000, probably have to put her to one side, but with the caveat she might have been training well and be in one of the events. But the 5,000, we've got, I should have said that in the 1,500, Bell, Muir, Walcott-Nolan, Snowden, Reekie, and Courtney Bryant have all got the World Athletics standard, so they're the ones up for selection, or in the first stage at least. In the 5,000, Nuttall, Fitzgerald, Megan Keith and Courtney Bryant are the four with the standard, and it's probably going to be that lot that be contesting for the win on Saturday as it is. I'll probably go with it can be interesting because Megan Keith's got to push on the pace, but Hannah Nuttall and Ines Fitzgerald have shown they can deal with that. They've both run 14:39. Megan Keith has run 14:47, but ran a superb 3,000 in Ireland recently as well. I'll probably go Nuttall, Fitzgerald and Keith in quite an interesting race. The women's 3,000, probably the most predictable. Elise Thorner stands out with a 9:15 this year. Her and Lizzie Bird, who I think's retired, are the only two with the world qualifying time. The time window for that is from the 1st of August last year. Lizzie Bird retired, I think, at the end of last season. So we've got Thorne, who's done 9:15, Sarah Tate's 9:27, and Emily Parker's done 9:45. Quite spread out, so you probably have to take them in that order unless somebody else pops a really good run. So that's the women's races. Gonna make me look silly. And then the men's, I'll get my bits of paper sorted out. Men's 800. Now the first thought on this is there's 37 entries accepted currently. Not so many crossing over with 8 and 15. Well, I don't think there's many at all crossing over double acceptance on 8 and 15. 37 entries. Last year they had 3 heats, straightforward. First two fastest losers. 37 entries. Does it go to 4 heats? If it does, is it first 2 only? In which case you've got to get the seeding really right. Or does it go to only the winner and 4 fastest losers, which makes tactics and luck of the draw whose heat you're in really, really important. There's 8 men have done sub 145 this year in the 800, and the only one not accepting the 800 invite is Jake Whiteman. So Alex Bottrell, Max Bergin, Tiernan Corcoran, Justin Davis, Callum Dodds, Ethan Hussey and Henry Jonas are all in there. But you can add in there a whole load of others knocking on the door. Jack Higgins, Finley McLeod, not shown the form yet this year. Ben Patterson, not his best, but one of the, if not the best athlete of all of them on his day. Tom Randolph, Dan Rowden, Rhys Sharman Newell, really good racer. So I'd put him in the mix. Ben Gardner and David Race, just done the World Student Games, looked a little bit jaded by that, just coming off it last weekend. So not sure about those two being able to come good again or getting better to challenge in this one. But just making the final, I suspect there will be somebody who's run sub 145 or sub the qualifying time of 144.5 who won't get to the final. Based on form, what they've done this year, how good they've looked and how good they are tactically, I'd probably go Max Bergin first, Justin Davis second. Third will be a mass finish in my book, and it could be one of many. Rhys Sharman Newell's a very good tactical racer, quite brave, not prepared to push it hard early on. He might grab the 3rd place, but then Ben Patterson, if he's come on stronger from his last races, could nudge forward. I'd probably put Patterson in there third, grabbing that 3rd position, which will put him in prime spot for selection because he'll have time to then go off and try and get the qualifying time, get up in the rankings as well. Men's 1500, Will Barnacoats entered the 1500 and the 5000. I suspect he'll do the 5000. Sam Charrick's been running well. George Mills is in the 15 and the 5000, but he fell at the London Diamond League and broke his wrist, so I think he's out. Jake Whiteman, Neil Gurley, Elliot Giles are on there. Adam Fogg's in there. Josh Kerr's doing the 5,000. Kerr, Gurley, Mills, Giles, Whiteman and Fogg have all got the world champs qualifying time. Adam Fogg's only done a 1:49.800 at Watford recently, showed no recent form other than that. Neil Gurley and Elliot Giles and Jake Whiteman ran in the London Diamond League. It went Whiteman, Giles and Gurley. Bearing in mind Neil Gurley's experience in the British Champs and his ability to deal tactically, I might be tempted to go Whiteman, Gurley, Giles in this one. Jake's been running really pretty well, and I'd say getting better by the week. But there's others: Piers Copeland, Archie Davis, Joe Wigfield, Tom Keane, Sam Charrick, all been racing well. But let's go with those three: Whiteman, Gurley and Giles, in that order. And we'd have a fourth one in Josh Kerr at the World Championships, as he is the reigning champion. Men's 5,000, well, the spanner in the works there is Josh Kerr deciding to do the 5,000. Won't comment on that. He did the 800 last year and took a fall with Elliot Giles in the 800 final last year. So brave man trying a 5,000. So it would have to be extremely quick to drop him, because at his best he can run 13:20. So to do that and go, say, at 13:10 pace, there's not many can do that. Scott Beattie's won. He's run 13:04, but he did that on the Boston track indoors. I'm not sure anyone else would be prepared to go for that. Will Barnicoat shown a bit of a kick this year, especially over 1,500. He's done 13:28. Scott Beattie's form's been up and down, ran a really good 1,500. As I say, ran really well 5,000 indoors. Rory Leonard looked good at Watford, doubled up 1,500 and 5,000, so he'd be pretty confident. Ellis Cross, be a tough one for him. Not one for really pushing the pace at the front from a long way out, but probably get out kicked by a few here. Jack Kavanagh won the England champs last year. Very brave runner. Got a good finish over the last 800, but is he quite at the level of some of the others? I'm not sure. He's not run as quick, certainly. Josh Kerr, I've mentioned. Henry McClucky's been running well over 3,000. He's run 13:36 for 5,000. Can he bring that 3,000 form over into the 5,000? Not so sure. David Malarkey's done 13:23 this year and done a lot of races in the States. He was second also at the World University Games in a slow 5,000 final. And the other one who's been running really well is Harry Wakefield, who's run 7:47 for a British over 35 3,000 metres record recently. And very brave and aggressive race. He's looked good over that distance. Can he bring that to 5,000? And then there's James West, who's got a really good track record at the British Championships, won last year, defending champion. So, and there's plenty of others in there. Question is, are there a bunch of them who will push the pace along? Because otherwise it's going to be a 13:40 race once again, with a fast last couple of laps and a very fast last lap. So on that basis, you'd probably go Josh Kerr, James West, and maybe Will Barnicoat coming in for third in my book. But we shall see. Will Team Macau with Cross, Beattie and Leonard be able to conjure up something to get amongst the top 2 or 3? That'd be good. And then finally, the men's steeplechase. Similar protagonist to last year, where there was a cracking race where they almost got Phil Norman, who won the Olympic qualifying time. He was a fraction outside. Phil's come back this year, accepting his entry, but he's only done one track race, which was a National League 2K chase in 5:33, which compares pretty well to his 5:25 PB. So he's suddenly in the mix here with Will Battersaw, who's done 8:21. I don't think Tommy Bridger's going to do it. I think he's injured and out, although he's accepted his entry, but he'd be a factor if he's fit and healthy. Zach Seddon's done 3,000 steeplechase in 8:25, not far off his best. He's been doing a little bit of faster work and run 3:41 for 1500 recently. And then Mark Pierce ran 8:23 in July. Battersill, Pierce, Seddon and Norman are always very close. Phil Norman at his absolute best is probably the pick of the bunch. But Zach Seddon, working full time, a dad now, showing good 1500 metre speed. He's probably quite confident. I could see him winning this one on a close finish from Battersill and Phil Norman, but we shall see. Look forward to being there, look forward to seeing it, and look forward to me getting a lot of those predictions completely wrong. So hope you enjoy watching it, and have a good week.